Good morning, YouTube. It's almost the afternoon. I did a little sleep-in Saturday today. Totally unintentional, but sometimes it'd be like that. We're on our way to go hang out with my buddy Stefan, shoot some content. No real plans today, but just enjoying this beautiful, beautiful weather. He lives about an hour and a half away, which is a really nice ride. So while I'm riding there, I figure I'll share some thoughts with you guys. Today, one of my biggest thoughts when I woke up is, man, I've got a lot of stuff to do. I still haven't replaced that dishwasher, but it's just me in the house, so generally I don't make too much dishes. I also need to change the oil in the Shady Lady. I'm neglecting her a little bit. I still also have to send my tattoo guy some pictures and ideas, but that's what brings me to my thoughts for the day is I feel like I'm busier in retirement than I was when I was contracting 3 months on, 3 months off. I'm just filling my days full of just doing whatever I want to do, pretty much. A lot of people will tell you, oh man, if you retire early, you'll be dead within 5 years because you get bored, you run out of things to do. Man, that is not the case. I'm busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. But it's all been great, and I'm loving it. So there's that old song, you know, live like you were dying, which we're all dying, but it's more than that. Hey, thanks, guy. Appreciate letting me out. That's cool. So instead of living like I'm dying, I plan to live like I'm already dead. Sometimes. So the laundry can wait. That's the theme for today. The laundry can wait. There's so many other things that are more important, like making memories. Come on, guy. There you go. Man, the Shady Lady, calm down, baby, calm down. She is feeling it this morning. Let's see what tunes I have. Man, I was sweating inside the garage, but whew, that wind is a little chilly. It's supposed to warm up to about mid-60s today. So I've got a light flannel on and my cut, and I've got a hoodie in the saddlebag, so I should be good. Try and keep it on the speed limit while I'm on the interstate. Make sure you guys are seeing what you should be seeing. I got to come up with a better mounting solution for my GoPro because the other one, whenever I turned my head, it was getting caught on things. All the attachments and screws and whatnot were getting caught on my jacket. It'll be a little bit better when I'm not wearing so much bulky stuff, but bear with me. I told y'all how much I love this motorcycle. Anyway, I digress, which you're going to get a lot of digression on these inside my helmet videos because a lot of times it's a random thought instead of creating a script. So these are just, again, random thoughts from inside my helmet. So where were we? Okay, yeah, we were talking about Carpeing the Diem. And today was just too dang nice to stay inside, do laundry, and work on the dishwasher. I'm sorry, it just is. And laundry, don't get me started on laundry. It's just me and my 3 dogs in the house, and somehow I managed to produce a ton of laundry. But I also have a ton of clothes, so having 2 laundry baskets full of dirty clothes doesn't bother me as much because I still have something to wear, thank goodness. Let me get over in the right lane. I'm already hauling, but man, these people want to go way above the speed limit. So anyway, I plan to live the rest of my days still adulting and being responsible, but I don't know how many more revolutions around this sun that I'm going to be able to take on this earth. And I have, don't get me wrong, I have a ton to live for. I've got grandchildren, I've got 3 amazing kids, and I do have a wonderful and supportive family. But I feel like I've accomplished a good amount of stuff in my 44 years of life. And if something happened and I didn't wake up tomorrow, I wouldn't have too many regrets. And there are a lot of people heading to Nashville today. A lot of people. There's, I don't know if you can see it, there's a billboard for Face Fabulous here in Clarksville, Tennessee, right off exit 11. So if you go in there and check them out, make sure you tell Mandy or Tony that Dom sent you in there. Last night I took a ride to another motorcycle club's open house. Hung out there for a bit, and then I saw the weather start rolling in. So I decided to leave, and 2 blocks before I came home, I ran into a sheet of rain. Luckily, I only had 2 blocks of rain to ride in, but it was enough to make the shady lady even dirtier than she normally is. I was gonna wash her before I took off, but I'd rather ride it than wash it. So pardon the rain spots and the dirt on her, but she's doing okay. So I'd like to know if there's any of y'all that are getting ready to retire or recently retired. They're trying to figure out what's the next chapter in their life. What are you doing? Are you just completely retiring? Or are you gonna pick up some small jobs, some 1099 work? What's the future look like for you? Because I really have no idea, and I'm surprisingly okay with that. I used to tell guys when we were on deployment, don't make any major life-altering decisions 30 days before you come home for a deployment or 30 days after you've been back. I think that 2-month period is your adjustment period. All you want to do is come home. And when you get home, sometimes it feels like it's almost better just being deployed. Being deployed, you have a set schedule. You get into a really, really good routine. You have so much less worry while you're deployed, which seems kind of ironic that you can be in a life or death situation, downrange, deployed, in combat somewhere, and really staying alive and keeping your buddies alive is one of your biggest worries and mission accomplishment. But really, that's 3 things that you got to worry about. Versus when you're at home, you got the dishwasher, you got the kids, you've got traffic, you've got, you know, oh man, someone just door dinged my car in the parking lot of Publix, or my car won't start. You've got all these random, everyday life frustrations that you really don't have to deal with when you're deployed. So with me, I was a lot less frustrated deployed than I've ever been being stateside. And that's why I tried to stay deployed as much as possible, which was extremely selfish, not fair to my family. Could explain why I've been divorced 3 times, which I don't think that's all of it. There's plenty of people that have been married for decades to the same person that have deployed and done the same things that I've done. It's just different strokes for different folks. Everybody reacts differently to life. I've always said life is 10% what happens to you and 90% what you do about it. And I love this traffic. Oh man, it looks like it goes on for a good bit. I like running ways on my bike. Thanks to Apple CarPlay, which Chad is still salty about. He really enjoyed the shout out on the last video. If he didn't see it, I'll throw a link to the video where I talk about Apple CarPlay and how Chad doesn't have it on his 2022 Road Glide. I went to the VA for my labs and my new doctor visit, which I'll get to that in a second. But as far as my labs go, my cholesterol, I don't mind telling y'all, was 308, which is way up, higher than it's ever been compared to when I was taking cholesterol meds and whatnot. Well, I changed my diet. I was on cholesterol meds and my cholesterol went back down to normal. And I was like, awesome. So like a fool, I stopped taking my cholesterol medications, partly because I forgot to bring a 3-month supply with me when I was contracting, and I felt like I was eating right. I feel great, but my lab results say otherwise. I think one of the contributing factors to my cholesterol being so high is I'm a huge fan of grilling, barbecuing, and smoking meat. So with prices being the way they are at the supermarket, I just bought a whole cow, which I believe in supporting local, buying local anytime you can, small businesses, that includes farms and whatnot. So I bought a whole cow from a local farmer. They butchered it up for me, and I have a pretty big freezer in my garage. It's been full of briskets and steaks and everything that's delicious. So with the abundance of meat, I throw barbecues, but by and large I have steak, breakfast, lunch, and dinner pretty much most days. So it looks like I'm going to be giving away a lot of red meat, mostly to my son, some to my friends, and going back to fish and chicken, which I love fish. I wish that I could have caught some fish on this last fishing trip, but I got all summer long. So going to the VA. So the VA, I don't know how it used to be, because I've obviously only started using them in the last couple of years, but I didn't have a really good experience with the first doctor that they assigned me to. I felt like it was a check the block, in and out, just refill your meds, here you go, what do you want, see you later. And what people don't realize is you don't have to stay with the same doctor. if you don't jive with a doctor, or if they upset you, or you're just not feeling like your needs are getting met, you can simply request another doctor. And you shouldn't be afraid to like hurt someone's feelings, or just tell them, hey, it's just not working out. If you go somewhere, if you go to a restaurant and order a meal that you don't like, it doesn't come out the way you want it, there's no point in continuing to go back to that same restaurant and doing the same thing. So anyway, I called and said, you know, I'm just not happy with my primary care team. I'd like another one. So I got a new doctor. No harm, no foul. And I had one interaction with him, but he seems like a really cool guy. His nurse actually used to work at the Army hospital on post. So I've known her for decades, and so as luck would have it. And she's pretty cool too. But by and large, the VA healthcare system is free, and I always say you get what you pay for. Well, free for, you know, retired veterans and whatnot. I've had several surgeries, 16 to be exact, not all of them major surgeries, but I've went under anesthesia 16 times. And one of my last surgeries was partial knee replacements, and I need a full knee replacement because my right knee is still jacked up. I can't run. I walk downstairs like an old man, and I'm in constant pain. But the medical community doesn't like doing full replacements on younger individuals because the material only lasts so long. So if you get, let's say you get a knee replacement when you're 30 years old, 15, 20 years from now, depending upon how much wear and tear you put on it, you'll have to get a new replacement done. So I guess the mindset is, well, if you wait till you're old, just get one done and then you'll die before you need another one done. I don't really like that train of thought, because I would rather not live in pain waiting until I'm in my mid-50s to get a knee replacement. Hell, I might not make it to my mid-50s, and I would have lived in pain for no reason at all if it could have been avoided. So hopefully I can get something done about my knee. I don't like taking pain medications. I don't think there's anything wrong with them short term for acute pain or post-surgery or whatnot, but long-term pain management, it just doesn't sit right with me taking pills every day, just because sometimes the side effects outweigh the benefit. I also love the pain scale when you go to the doctor and they're like, what's your pain today? On a scale of 1 to 10. And I've heard some people say, oh, it's an 11. It's just terrible. And I think those are all subjective, and I would hate to be a nurse that has to ask people that question all the time, because it's so subjective. My pain tolerance between a 1 and a 10 being the worst pain I've ever felt my whole life, is a lot different than someone that's never basically had the same pain or fractures that I have. Like, let's say you've never broken a bone. well, your 10 is going to be different from my 10. And likewise, I've never broken my femur, but I hear that's one of the most painful things that you could ever experience. So that person's 10 is a lot different from my 10. So at any rate, whenever I go in, I usually say, well, I'm probably about it at 2. Being that it's discomfort, it's noticeable, it gets my attention, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm in nauseating pain to where I'm about to pass out. I'd also tell the doctors, if I woke up and I didn't feel pain, I'd think that I was dead.
Hey honey, you look fine, so I know it took time getting you fresh like fish, and I'm a hoop like, yeah. I wanna please ya, put you at ease, you're freaking, I'ma squeeze ya, I'm with that. Boy, I wanna get that, take you home, enjoy you like a six-pack drinking. But let me start thinking, if I really want you, and should I start winking? But nevertheless, I came here to move. Yo, baby, welcome to my groove.
Good time, nothing over mine. Don't mind swaying closer to.
I hate when my Apple CarPlay does that. Whenever I hit a bump,
Following your footsteps, one by one, right into your arms. This life will just begun. Right into your arms, right into your arms, right into your arms, right into your arms.
Yo, baby. Yo, baby. Yo, baby. Yo, baby. Yo, baby. Yo, baby, welcome to my groove. 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 these bullets is right to the top of my Mac, all the hell you running. Back of my hood shit is right to the pushing me tight, and I'm actually coming. Can't fuck with you rapping, you practically fucking. You murder when platinum, but that don't mean nothing. I'm actually buzzing this time. Straight out the kitchen, I told him the oven is mine. I do not fuck with you guys. If I don't care, you just know you gon' suffer this time. I ain't no gangster, but I got some bangers, some chains and some blazing, a couple of nines. Choppers and jemmies, a partridge, a petri. My 20s and Christmas was nothing but lies. One that you hot like a sumo. They say I talk like a chulo. I live in Mars on my Bruno. Bitch, I'm a duck, call me Cujo.
2 hours later.
All right, brother, I'm out. Well, that was a pretty good visit. Hanging out with old friend from high school. Now I've got about an hour and a half ride home, back the way I came. I was trying to get out of there before it got dark. Before the critters start coming out. I mean, I'll ride at night, but I've also got the 3 amigos at home that I need to feed. There's some deer right there. I just want to make sure they don't jump over the fence at me. I got smoked by a deer 4th of July 2011. There's deer everywhere. There's some over there. That's why I was trying to get out of here before it got dark. He lives out in the middle of nowhere, so not really out in the middle of nowhere, but right next to a state park, I guess. Like I was saying, in 2011, 4th of July, it was middle of the afternoon and I was on my dad's wide glide. And I was on my way to my sister's house and I was riding between 2 cornfields and deer ran into the side of me, literally, while I was on the bike. And me, the bike, and the deer kind of went into the ditch. I shattered my right shoulder, broke my couple ribs on my left side, broke my pinky finger on my left hand, and smacked my right knee and fractured my patella. Yeah, that dog came out of nowhere. So yeah, I was pretty busted up, a little bit of road rash on my forearms. So I ended up getting a plate put in my hand and a couple screws put in my shoulder. So when I say I broke my shoulder, really I broke the tip of my, or the top part of my humerus. The ball was still in socket, if you will, and they had to screw the bone back to it. But as soon as I was able, I was back up on too. Things happen. It's not going to keep me from riding motorcycles ever. Gorgeous day of riding. A little windy, but it was wonderful sunshine the whole way. as we were riding, Stefan had an issue with his motorcycle. We swung by Boswell's, Harley Davidson, and they hooked him up. Got him back on the road in a couple minutes. And then we went to the Rudder for some lunch. My buddy Stefan was saying that he's not much into watching YouTube videos or moto vlogs. He said he's not too much interested in hearing other people talk, and I told him, well, hey, different strokes for different folks. But he said he doesn't mind watching just the video of, like, music in the background, of just riding and events and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and shut my pie hole here for a little bit and just enjoy the ride home.
Seconds later.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see some more content. Make sure you keep chasing these sunsets and be good to each other.